Hey, I'm Mackenzie. Welcome to week 1 of my 12 and 12 challenge. My goal with this challenge is to teach myself Ruby on Rails by building a new web app each week for 12 weeks. This week I built a link aggregator site. It's similar to Reddit or Hacker News where a user can sign up, submit a link, as well as comment and vote up or down on a submission. So I'm going to show you how I built the site, so let's just go ahead and jump into the code. All right, so to begin, we need to first create our new Rails application. So I'm going to open up my terminal. I'm using iTerm. It's a great program. You should definitely check it out. So I've created a directory for my 12 and 12 challenge. So I'm going to cd into that. And cd means change directory, if you did not know. So from there, I'm going to go into my demo directory to create the demo application. All right, so from here, I'm going to run Rails new Radit. And this is going to create the Rails app for us. All right, so now that that's done running, I'm going to cd into that directory. So cd radit. All right, and if I do ls, it will show us all the files and directories. All right, so what I'll do next is I'm going to open up the Rails application we just created in Sublime Text. So Sublime dot. If you have Sublime and that doesn't work for you, you'll probably need to create a symlink between the terminal and Sublime Text. In order to do that, just Google Sublime Text terminal symlink and should find some directions on how to do that. So I want to make sure everything was installed correctly. So I'm going to do Rails S to run the Rails server. And then you can see right here, it says Rails 4.15 application starting at development on HTTP 0.0.0.0:3000. So that is the local host port 3000. So I'm going to open up Chrome and go to localhost port 3000 just to do a sanity check. Awesome. Welcome aboard. You're writing Ruby on Rails. So everything was installed correctly. So let's close down the server by hitting Control-C. All right, and before we move on, I want to initialize this in Git and commit it so we can track our work. So I'll do git init. If I do git status, it will show us all the untracked files. So to add those, I'm going to do git add dot, and then git commit -am initial commit. Boom. All right, so let's think about our application for a second. What are the main things we want this application to do? Since it's going to be a Reddit type site, I know I want users to be able to sign up, sign in and out. I want signed in users to be able to submit a link with a title and a URL. I want to be able to vote up or down on an application, as well as comment on links and submissions. So let's begin with the link submissions. All right, to do that, I'm going to create a new branch in Git. So git checkout -b. I'm going to call this links or link scaffold because we're going to be creating or generating a scaffold to take care of this. Next, I will run Rails generate scaffold link, and the title is going to be a string. And then the URL is going to be a string as well. All right, so you can see that created a migration, a model, and a bunch of other stuff for us, which is pretty awesome. So if we go into Sublime Text, you can see under models, it created the link model. Under views, it gives a whole bunch of links. And the cool thing about this, let's migrate our database real quick by running rake db migrate. and that will add the migration to our database. So again, let's run the Rails server to check out what we just did. All right, so now reload that. If I go to slash links, you can see that we have our link scaffold generated for us. We can create a new link, and that will take us to link/new. We can enter a title, say, let's do Mackenzie's website, http mackenziechild.me, and create link. Now it shows us the title, the URL, says link was successfully created. If we go back, and it shows us everything, and it gives us the option to show, edit, or destroy. If we make a new one, let's say Twitter, I'll just add my Twitter. Let's see, twitter.com/MackenzieChild. Boom. And as you can see, it added both those for us. Very cool. So I'm going to keep the Rails server open and just create a new tab. And I'm going to cd into the 12 and 12 challenge demo and then rat it. Awesome. So at this point, there's not much more else to do. We are going to be changing quite a bit, but since the scaffold generated most of it for us, we're going to just commit what we have, merge it into master, and then we are going to start, we're going to create users next. So let's do git status. You can see all the files that are untracked. We'll do git add dot git commit -am generate link scaffold. All right, now we'll do git checkout master to go back into the master branch, and then git checkout or git merge link scaffold, and that will merge in the link scaffold branch into the master branch. All right. So next we want to create users so we can have the ability to sign in and sign out. So for that, I'm going to use a gem called devise. So to do this, let's start out by creating a new branch. We'll do git checkout. Let's clear that. Git checkout -b, and then I'm going to call this add users. All right, so to install devise, we are going to install the devise gem. So if you go to rubygems.org, you can see that we'll need to add this to our gem file. So I'll just copy that, open up the gem file. See, I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here because don't really need all these extra comments. See, first I'm going to define a Ruby version. So I'm just going to do Ruby dash 2.1.1. All right, and then I'm going to add the devise gem. I'm just going to add it to the bottom. All right, and to install that, we need to run bundle install. So let's do that in our terminal. Bundle install, and that will go out and download the gem if you don't already have it on your system. I happen to already have it, so it just says using devise 3.3.0. All right, so now that we did that, I know one thing that I kept getting hung up on while I was creating this app was I always forget to restart the server. So I'm going to do that now. Hit Control-C to end the server, and then hit up to do Rails S again to restart the server. And that will make sure it recognizes the devise gem. So now we're going to generate, or we're going to run the devise generator. So let's do that in the console, Rails G devise install. So that adds an initializer and a .yaml file for us. There's a few things we need to do, and it says Devise is kind enough to show us what we need to do. So let's go ahead and do those now. So step 1, it says ensure you have defined a default URL option in your environments files. So let's do that now. So under, let's close these, under config, under config, environments, development.rb, we need to add this line right here. And I'll just add that to the bottom. Save that. In production, host should be set to actual host of your application. So if you're planning on putting this live, you should probably add the actual host to the production.rb. I'm not going to worry about that for this demo application though. All right, so step 2, ensure you have defined root URL to something in your config.routes. So in our config routes, let's make the links controller the root. So what I'm going to do is root and then 2, and then I want it to be the links controller with the index action. So now if we go back to localhost 3000, it will show us the links controller instead of having to go to /links. Both work, but all right, so now that that's done, ensure you have a flash message in your application .html.erb. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to use the ones they generate for us. So in app, views, layouts, application.html.erb, I'm going to add this flash. This I'm doing this because we're going to use Bootstrap here pretty soon. So this will make it so it adds the alert class based on what type of alert it is. All right, so let's save that. And then if you're deploying to Heroku, you probably need to do step 4. We're not going to be doing that in this demo, so I'm going to move on to step 5. You can copy the Devise views for customization. We are going to be customizing the views quite a bit. So I'm going to run Rails G Devise :views. And you can see that added the Devise under the views directory. Awesome. So now that that is done, we can generate a user with Devise. So let's just go ahead and close these out. In our terminal, we're going to run Rails generate Devise user with a capital U. All right, so that generated the model and the migration for us. Next, we need to migrate our database for that to take effect. So rake db migrate. So if we go under models, we now have a user, which is pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and create a user. Well, first, again, let's restart our server. And then let's check out to make sure it actually worked by going to users/signup. And we should be able to create a user. Awesome. So I'm going to do, I'll do my email, hey@mackenzie.child.me. And then password, I'll just do password. And then I'll, whoops, I did sign in. I meant sign up. Sign up. There we go. Hey@mackenzie.me, password, sign up. Awesome. It says, welcome, you have successfully signed up. So let's confirm that everything worked correctly by going into our Rails console, which just lets us play around with the database. So in Rails console, I'm going to do user.count just to make sure that it created a new user. And you can see user.count1. So if I do u equals, or let's do @user equals user.first, you can see user ID is 1, email is hey@mackenzie.child.me, and then the password is encrypted as it should be, which is one of the awesome things that Devise does for us. Awesome, so everything worked correctly for that. So I'm going to hit Control D to get out of the Rails console, and then Command K to clear the terminal. Now is probably a good time to commit what we just did. So I'm going to do git status, see what we have. All right, so I'm going to do git add dot git commit -am add devise and create user model. All right, so we have the ability to sign in and out, but it's not very practical for us to have to go to /user/sign up or sign in. So let's add some links to our view files. So in our view, I'm going to go to, let's see, app views, layouts, application.html.erb. I'm going to add a conditional statement to where if the user is signed in, they'll see links. If not, they won't. Well, if they're not signed up, they'll see a sign up and a sign in link. So we're going to do that by opening a Ruby block. So if user signed in, which we get for free from Devise, which is pretty awesome. I'm going to end this, and all right, I'm just going to create a ul li times 3. If you didn't know what that was, Google Emmet, I believe. Emmet. Yes, super awesome. I would definitely recommend installing that on Ruby, or I mean on Sublime, I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to add some classes. I'm just going to copy and paste these for time. This one's going to link to submit a new link, and it's going to go to the new link path. Then I'm going to add one to go to account settings, and then one to sign out. So this just destroys the user session. All right, then right here, we're going to do an else statement. So else, and then we're going to create a ul li times 2 to create the sign up and sign in links. All right, so now we got a link to sign up, and then that goes to the new user registration path, and then the sign in goes to the new user session path. So let's save that, make sure we got everything's working. Awesome. So now we have submit new link, account, and sign out. So let's make sure those all work correctly and sign out. Awesome. So now that I'm signed out, I can see the sign up and as well as the sign in. So I'm just going to go sign in again. hey@mackenzie.child.me, password. Awesome. And I'm signed back in. All right. So even though the submit links only show if the user is signed in, so if I open a new one, go to localhost, this is an incognito window. It shows the sign up and sign in and does not show the submit link and account settings. We can still technically go there if we know the correct URL. So to fix this, we need to create an association here between a model, or I mean a user and a link. So let's go ahead and do that. So in our user file or user model, we're going to add a user. A user has many links. And then under link, we're going to do a link belongs to a user. All right, so if we jump into the Rails console to see what we just did, see, it will show if we do @link equals link.first. All right, so now we got the first link's assigned to @link. So if we do @link.user, it will return nil. If we did not have this here, let's say I commented out and comment that out. Let's reload the Rails console. So if I do @link equals link.first, then @link.user, I'll get an error. So you can see the association makes it so we can do, whoops, let's reload. @link equals link.first, @link.user. So you can see, even though we don't have a user assigned to this, it doesn't throw up an error. So the association between the two models is working. The issue is that the links table in the database doesn't have a column for users. So we're going to need to go ahead and add a migration or run a migration to add users to the links. So let's do that now. Let's get out of the console by hitting Control-D. Let's clear what we just did. All right, and we'll run Rails generate migration add user ID to links, and then user ID is going to be an integer, and then we're going to index that. So let's run that. That creates the migration file. So let's run rake db migrate. All right. So let's go back into our Rails console to confirm that that worked. So I believe if we do just link, let's do link.connection to establish the connection. All right. Now if we just do link, we can see the ID integer is there under the link model. All right, so let's exit out of this, and let's go ahead and commit what we just did. We'll do git status, git add dot to add the migration file, and then git commit -am add association between link and user. All right. So now we need to update our link controller so that when a user submits a link, their user ID that we just created gets assigned to that link. We can do this by updating the new and create method inside of our link controller.rb file. And we use a helper that we got for free from Devise. So let's go ahead and let's close these out. Open controllers, link controllers.rb. So we're going to change the index and the new, the new and the create. So we're going to do @link equals current user .links .build instead of the link.new. So this builds it out from the user instead of from just a new link. So let me do the create as well. So we'll do current user .build, and we're going to build from the link params. And the link params is under the private method def link params. Right, so if we save that, and now we need to add some authorization. So all right, let's confirm that that worked. So I'm going to submit a new link. Let's say CSS Tricks. That's a great site. CSS Tricks, create link. Undefined method build for current user. Oh, okay, I see what we did. So I'm gonna exit out of the console. Current user should be current user.links.build. So let's go back, try to create a new one. Awesome. So now if we go into the Rails console, which I shouldn't have exited out of, we'll do @link equals link.last to grab the link we just created. All right, and as you can see, we have the user ID 1, which, so now if we go @link.user, it will pull out the first user or the user associated with that link. So if I do @link.user.email, it pulls out hey @mackenziechild.me. Awesome. So everything appears to be working correctly. So next we need to make sure that we need to add some authentication to our controller to make sure nobody can do stuff they're not allowed to do. Meaning if a user, currently if a user is signed in, if I go incognito, you're still able to destroy and edit these, which we do not want. So what we're gonna do to take care of that is add a before filter to our controller. So we're gonna do before filter, and then we're gonna do authenticate user, and then this is going to authenticate everything except for the index and show. All right, so if we do that, I'm going to go in incognito, localhost 3000, whoops, 3000. All right, since I'm not signed in, if I hit destroy, there we go. It takes me to a login page, which is what we want. And then if I hit edit, it takes me to a login page as well. Perfect. So even though we've authenticated it, the links still show up. We shouldn't be able to see them if we're not signed in. So let's take care of that right now. So in our views, let's go to the application view. Oh, whoops, let's go to the index page. So we still want them to be able to see the show link so they can go to the show page. But for the other ones, we're gonna wrap it in an if block. If link.user is equal to the current user, show the edit and destroy. Otherwise, let's end that. Otherwise, it will not show these links. Awesome. Okay. So these two links don't have a user ID associated with them. So if I go in the console and I do user equals user.first, we should be able to see that the user ID is nil. Oh, whoops. @link equals link.first. There we go. @user ID is nil. So if we do @link.user equals user.first, so now @link, we can see the link ID is 1. And I'll just do @link.find by, I'll do @link find 2, and that should find the second link. @link equals link.find. There we go. It found the Twitter, which is what we want. And then I'm going to do @link equals link or @link.user equals user.first, then @link.save. There we go. So since I just assigned the user ID to my user, it now shows the edit and destroy. But the other one we did not save, so let's do that now. I'm going to do @link equals link.first to grab that, and then @link.user equals user.first, and then @link.save. There we go. So now these two links are assigned to me. So if I go incognito, it does not show those because they are not assigned to me. All right, and finally, one last thing. I want to get rid of this new link since you should be signed in to be able to submit a new link. So under views, layouts, application, oh no, index, I'm sorry. I'm just going to remove this line as well as the BR tag. There we go. So now we have the ability to sign in and out. A user has to be signed in order to create a link as well as edit or destroy that link, and only the user who created that link is able to edit or destroy that link. So let's go ahead and get out of the Rails console. I'm going to commit and merge what we have. So I'm going to do git status, do git add dot git commit -am authorization on links. Now I'm going to do git checkout master and git merge our add users branch. Beautiful. So now that we have the ability to sign in and out and submit a link, it's starting to come together and work how we want, but it's looking pretty awful. So at this time, I'm gonna start styling a bit. I'm gonna add Bootstrap and then just add some basic styling and some structure to our app. So to do that, let's create a new branch. We're gonna do git checkout -b, and we'll call this add Bootstrap. All right, so we need to add the Bootstrap gem. So if we find that, let's add Bootstrap Sass. Let's find that gem. Let's copy that, and we'll add that to our gem file. Let's close what we have. And then gem file, we're going to add Bootstrap Sass, version 3.2.0.2. Awesome. So now let's do bundle install. And since Bootstrap Sass is already on my system, it's just using that and it doesn't need to download anything. Let's go back to our server and restart it by hitting Control-C and then up on the arrow pad to go back to Rails S. All right, so a few things we need to do to get Bootstrap working. So if you go to the Bootstrap GitHub page, you can see it tells you to install the gem. And then right here, it says import Bootstrap styles into our application.css file. So let's do that. First off, our application.css needs to be renamed to application.css.scss for the Bootstrap Sass to work. So I'm going to rename that file to .scss. And then right here it says import Bootstrap sprockets and import bootstraps. So below all that, you do need to keep this, by the way, so don't get rid of those lines. All right, save that. And then also we need to require Bootstrap sprockets inside of our JavaScript application.js. So JavaScript application.js. Let's just add it under required jQuery. and save that. One thing I do know is the scaffold is going to override currently the Bootstrap. So I'm going to just select everything and then delete that. Actually, in fact, let's just delete the entire file because we won't use it. All right, so if I reload this, you can see that it's already taking on some of Bootstrap styling, which is awesome. Bootstrap makes it so you can get a decent looking site up and running very quickly. I would never use it in production. I think it's just, like I said, to get a site up and going pretty quickly. But if you are going to launch something into the wild or in public, I would suggest either designing or hiring a designer or just making it look nice and professional and not like the 1,000 Bootstrap sites that are online right now. All right, so I'm going to start adding some styling to our pages and our forms. So I'm going to start in our layouts application.html.erb. Since this challenge is 100% about learning Rails, I'm not going to spend too much time on this styling section. So I'm going to copy and paste the majority of the code here. But if you want to follow along, you can find it on the Github repo or just pause the video and copy down what I'm putting in. All right, so inside of the application.html.erb, I'm going to change it to this. Basically, I just added a nav bar with the links, so it looks nice. And then I wrapped the yield, which imports the index, into the application template. And I styled the flash as well. So let's save that, refresh. You can see it's starting to take shape. So from here, I am going to add a bit of styling to the application.css or SCSS file. So I will just copy and paste that. This is going to take care of the logo as well as the content and comments and stuff. So I'll save that, refresh. You can see the logo changed. All right, so next I'm going to do the index.html.erb file. So let's open that up. Links index.html.erb. So I pretty much want to get rid of all of this. So let's just paste that in. So now if I go to the show page, oh, whoops. There we go. So Mackenzie's website styled a bit. All right. This is the index page. So next, I'm going to do the show page, which I just thought I was doing. All right, show.html.erb. I'm going to select all this. We don't need another notice since we have that in the application template. So let's save that. All right, so now you can see this is the show page. It says the Twitter, and if I click on that, it will go to the actual Twitter page submitted by me, and then I can visit URL, edit, and destroy. Awesome, it's coming along. One thing on the index, I want to make sure. Okay, one thing is the div id.main or div id main should actually be main content because that's how I have it styled in here. So if I refresh this, there you can see it takes adds a border between that, and see this. I believe the index should have a content ID. Okay, yeah, this should actually be content and not container. There we go. Now it's nicely centered. It's got the dividers. If I submit a new link, yeah, let's take care of the forms now. So let me close these out. So first I'm going to do the links form, which is this page right here. So all I'm going to change is I'm going to leave all this stuff up here. I'm just going to change the inputs themselves. So I'm going to wrap them in a form group and add the form control class, which is all Bootstrap. Save that. If I refresh, you can see it looks a bit nicer. All right, next let's do the account page. So that is under Devise, Registrations, Edit. So I'm just going to copy all this. Basically what I did, again, I'm putting this in a panel, and then this is the panel footer. And then again, they're on form groups with the class form control. So if I refresh that, beautiful. All right, and now let's go incognito so we don't have to sign out. The sign up and sign in pages. This, registration new sign up page. I'm just going to copy and paste this. So again, we're just wrapping the inputs in the form group. All right, looks a bit nicer. All right, and the sign in page is under sessions new. So for that, I'm just going to copy and paste all of this. Again, just wrapping in the form group and adding form class to the inputs. Beautiful. So now everything's looking pretty good. Sign up, the account, submit link, sign out, sign in, sign up pages all look good. I'm going to sign back in. And the show page looks pretty decent. All right, so let's commit and merge what we just did. So I'm going to clear what we got. I'm going to do git status to see what we did. Git add dot to add everything. Git commit -am add structure and basic styling. All right, so now I'm going to git checkout master, and I'm going to do git merge add bootstrap. All right, so now the master branch has all the changes we just did. Everything's looking good. Okay, so now that our application looks a little bit better, let's go ahead and start on the voting. So I'm going to create a new branch, git checkout -b. For this, we're going to use a gem called acts as votable to take care of the majority of it. So I'm going to do git checkout -b add acts as votable. All right, so now that we are in here, we need to add the acts as votable gem. So inside Ruby gems, I'm going to get the latest version, copy that. So let's close out what we just were doing. All right, so let's open up the gem file. At the bottom, I'm just going to add gem acts as votable. And then I'm going to do bundle install. All right, so now that that's done, let's restart our server. All right, great. So now we need to generate and run a migration on the acts as votable gem. So to do that, I'm going to do Rails generate Rails G acts as votable : migration. And that creates the database migration. So if we go under db migrate, we can see it adds the votes to the table. So we're going to do rake db migrate to migrate that into our database. All right, so the first thing we need to do is in our model, link model, we need to add the line acts as votable. And I'll actually add that up top. So let's go into our Rails console to confirm that it's working. So should be able to do @link equals link.first, and then @user equals user.first. All right, so now we should be able to do @link dot, I believe it's, let me look at the documentation. Yeah, @user or @link dot liked by @user. And now if we do @link dot votes for dot size, it should say 1. Perfect. So now if we do @link dot save, so now the first link, which should be the Mackenzie, Mackenzie's website, that has 1 vote for it. So to get this inside of our views, we need to first add some routes for the links. So let's do that under config routes.rb. We're going to change the resource links to resource to a block, resource do or links do, and then member do, put like to links, upvote. So links controller and the upvote action, and then put dislike to links controller downvote action, and then end and end. And let's make this look a little bit nicer, line those up. Then inside of our links controller, controllers, links controller.rb, we need to create a upvote and a downvote method. So right above the private method, I'm going to add those. So we'll do def upvote, we'll end that. Then @link equals link.find params ID. And then @link.upvote _by current user to assign that upvote to the current user. And then we're going to do redirect to :back. And what the back's going to do is we're going to be putting the upvote and downvote method on both the index and the show page. So this will pretty much just redirect them to the same page they're currently on. All right, so now on the def downvote, and that we will do, actually let's just copy this, be a lot easier. @link equals link.find by params ID, and then we're going to change this downvote by current user, and then redirect to back. Awesome, let's save that and let's add the ability to upvote or downvote in our views. So let's close these. All right, inside of our views, links, index.html.erb, we're going to add, I'm just going to copy and paste this. Whoops, it shouldn't be right there. Let's add it inside the links loop. So all right, so what this is doing is for each link right here, it's just adding a link to the like link path and making it a button. And then also, this doesn't have to do with the votes, but I'm adding a link to the actual URL because currently I changed it so if you click on this, you go to the show page, and then if you click again, it will go to the actual website. instead of just having it go directly to the website from here. So if we save this and refresh, now we have visit link, and that will take us to the actual link, and then upvote or downvote. So let's test it out. So you can see already that we did it in the console, so it says 1 upvote. So if we click on downvote, that now changes to 1 downvote. So now we can upvote, downvote. Awesome, everything's working correctly. Now when we change it, you can see it redirects us to the current page we're on. Beautiful, everything's working great. So now we need to add it to the show page as well, because we want users to be able to view the link before they vote. So under the show page, we're going to add this. This is different from what we have here, simply because we are in the link.each, and then this, you can see this has the @ link instead of just the regular link. So we'll save that, refresh, and now you can see the upvote and downvote are here as well. And it's all styled with Bootstrap. Perfect. So I'm going to create a new user. So I'm going to sign out. Oops, sign up. Let's say user@example.com. Password is password. Let's sign up. So now we can upvote and downvote again. We view this. You'll notice that the edit and destroy links are gone because this is not my post or the user@example.com's post, but we can still upvote or downvote, which is pretty awesome. So that pretty much takes care of the voting. So let's go ahead and exit out of the console. Let's clear, git status. Let's see what we got. All right, so let's add the migration. And we'll do git commit -am added and set up acts as votable. All right, then I'm going to check out into master, and then I'm going to merge that branch. Git merge add acts as votable. Perfect. So now the voting is on the master branch as well. All right, so the last feature we need to implement is the ability to comment on votes. So we're gonna make it so we can comment, and then the person who made that comment is able to delete the comment. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we will do git checkout -b. We'll call this branch add comments. All right. So instead of implementing it through a gem, I'm going to create a scaffold and do it ourselves. So I'm going to do Rails generate scaffold and call this comment. And then we're going to associate it with a link ID. And that's going to be an integer. And then we're going to index this, since probably look it up quite a bit. And then the body is going to be text. And then it's going to reference the user. So a comment belongs to a user. So we're going to do user : references. References, if I could spell. And then also we're going to skip the style sheets because we don't want them for this scaffold. So we'll hit enter. That creates the migration, the model, as well as the views and stuff for us, which is fantastic. And then I'm going to run rake db migrate to migrate that into our database. And we can see if we go into db migrate, it added a link ID, a body, and it references the user. So you can see if we go to user.rb, oh, there we go, a comment.rb. Comment belongs to a user. So I know for the comment, I'm going to use a gem called simple form, just to make the form a little easier. So I know I need to add that to the gem file. So I'm going to do that now. So gem file, let's search for simple form. All right, so let's copy the latest, and then at the bottom, we'll just gem simple form 3.0.2. Save that. Then we'll come back to our terminal, bundle install. All right, and then let's go ahead and restart our server as well. All right, so first thing we need to do is add an association between our comments and our links model. So we'll go open the link.rb as well as the comment.rb. So inside of our link.rb, we're going to do a link has many comments. Save that, and then a comment. Whoops, I'm in the user.rb. I meant be comment. A comment belongs to a user, and a comment belongs to a link. Awesome. So next we need to add a resource to our routes. So we'll do config routes, and then under the resources links block, not in the member block, we're going to do resources and then comments. And you can see if we run rake routes, that adds the comment routes for us. So we need to update our controller, our comments controller. So let's go to app controllers, comments controller.rb. And we need to update the create method. All right, so I know we're not going to have the ability to, we don't need the index, the show, the new, or edit. So we'll just get rid of those. All right, and I'm just going to copy and paste the create method. We're going to keep the destroy. Let's get rid of the update as well. So I'm just going to copy and paste a new one. So we're looking up the links by params link ID, and then the @comment is @link.comments.new with the comment params, which is down here. And then we're assigning the comment to the current user. All right, so now we need to add a form to our show page. So let's go ahead and do that. Under views, show, we're going to add just at the bottom. So we have comment title. This is just getting the count of the comments. And then this is rendering impartial, which we haven't created yet for the actual comments. And then this is the form to create a new comment. So let's go ahead before we forget and create the partial. So we'll do that under comments, new file. We'll save this as _comment.rb. Or no, comment.html.erb. And I'm just going to paste this in. So what this is doing, this is showing the comment body submitted by, in a small tag, the user, and then time ago, time it was created at. And then let's get rid of this because we're not going to be using that. So if the comment.user is equal to the current user, they'll have the ability to destroy the comment. So let's go back to our application, reload it, go to the show page. You can see that now the comment form is showing up, and that's from the show. Then if we do, let's try add a comment. This is a comment, smiley face. Awesome. You can see the alert comment was successfully created, and then it shows this is a comment submitted less than a minute ago by user@example.com. And I have the ability to destroy it since I was the user who created that. So if we go to a new one, this is another comment. Yay. Add comment. Awesome. So let's sign in to our other user. Hey at MackenzieChild.me. Password is password. So as you can see, the comment still shows up, but I don't have the ability to destroy that comment because I'm not the one who created it. So we can add another comment just to show. Yep, one more. Add comment. Beautiful. You can see this one has the ability to destroy it, but I can't do that one obviously. So the comments are pretty much good to go. So let's go ahead and commit and merge what we just did. So let's do git status. Quite a bit untracked, so we'll do git add dot git commit -am add comments. All right, and then we'll do git checkout master to switch to the master branch, and I'll do git merge add comments. Perfect. So our website is pretty much done, or our Rails app is pretty much created. There's one thing that's been bugging me that I want to take care of. It's the submitted by hey@MackenzieChild.me. So it's hey@user.email. I want to add a name field to the users. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So I'm going to create a new branch for this. Let's clear it. Git checkout -b add name to users. All right, so to do this, we need to add a migration that will add a name column to the users model. So to do that, we'll do Rails generate migration, add name to users, and then the name is going to be a string. So that creates our migration file. So we're going to do rake db migrate. All right, so now we need to add an input to our form field in order to accept that. So if you go to account, you can see the user table now has a name column, but we need to add it to a form to be able to take care of that. So let's close out what we had before. All right, and we'll go to devise, let's see, registration, edit. All right, so we want to add a name field. So I'm just going to copy the email, paste that in. I'm going to change it to name. And then I'm going to change email field to text field. So if I save that and I refresh it, you can now see that the name input shows up. But I know for Rails 4, the strong parameters, this currently won't save as is. So if I type in my name, Mackenzie Child, type in the password, hit update, it says your account has successfully been updated, but if we go back, you'll see it was not saved. So if you go to the, let's see, devise documentation, let's go to the source code and research strong parameters right here. So we need to add this to our application controller to get this to work. So I'm going to go under controllers, application controller.rb, and I'm going to add the line. Before, I'm just going to copy and paste this. So we're going to add a before filter, which is going to configure permitted parameters if device controller. And then under a protected method, we're going to add configure permitted parameters. And then this is going to add the name to the signup and the account update. So the account update is the edit page, and then the signup is all the signup. All right, so let's save that. All right, now let's go ahead and refresh that. I'll add my name, Mackenzie Child, add the password. There we go. So now if we go into our views, we'll go to the index, links index.html.erb. I'm going to change the link.user.email to link.user.name. So if I refresh this, it should say submitted about 1 hour ago by Mackenzie Child. Beautiful. All right, now let's do the same thing to the show page. So I'll go to links/show.html.erb, and I'm going to change .email to .name. Refresh that, and then also the comments have it as well. So let's go to our comments views, the comments partial, and then comment.user.email. We're going to change that to .name. Oh, the other user does not have a name submitted, so that does not show up, but everything else looks good. Whoops. If we go ahead and we could delete that, we need to make sure when a new user signs up, let's go to localhost 3000, that the form automatically gets the email. Or the name, I'm sorry. So let's go ahead and do that. So our edit form, I'm just going to copy what we had here, and we're going to add it to the new as well. Make sure it goes correctly. And then if I refresh that, perfect. And since our application controller has the devise parameter for the signup, this will save as well. And with that, we are finished. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. If you'd like to follow along as I teach myself more Ruby on Rails, please subscribe below, or you can find me on Twitter at @MackenzieChild or on my website, mackenziechild.me. Thanks for watching. I'm out.